So to start with, I just want to do something a little bit more simple just to get used to the pen. But I do want to show you something on the back of my tile first, just to give you an idea of when we're doing these lace tiles, there's grid work and there's kind of 3 different versions of the grid work. So there's big, right, where we might have them spaced a little bit wider, where we're going to draw, you know, bigger squares. And then we'll do some medium. And then we will also be doing some like much more almost like cross hatching type work. So just keep in mind, and I'll kind of let you know, but if you want to practice it on the back of your tile or even just think about it for a minute.
Oh, these babies are juicy.
Just know, yeah. So these pens are much different than the jelly rolls I've found. They definitely, I was struggling when I took the lace class because I was using jelly rolls and her pen was like flowing like crazy. And I was like, what is going on with my pen? Why is it not working? And then I went and got one of the pens she was using. I went, oh, that makes so much sense. So this is a much more relaxing experience if you have the Signo. That being said, I did my whole entire first class with the jelly rolls and it was fine. It was fine. I was just like, I want to do this different. So I'm just using a different tile because this ink does take a little bit of time to dry. This ink is because it's more juicy, it definitely takes more time. And I might just kind of keep this one off to the side because sometimes I need, you know how you kind of need to roll your pen and get it to flow. When I'm at home, I usually have like something underneath me that I can kind of you know, swirl my pen on.
So do you want part of this?
No, I'm good. I'm going to just use the Bijou. Okay, so let's just start. You can start anywhere on your Bijou and we're just going to go about the middle of the tile and we're drawing a stem, like a stem of a flower. And of course mine is already, there we go. Not flowing. Got it. And I have 3 more if I need them.
I have a whole box. We should be able to do this.
So I'm just going to draw this stem and then I'm going to draw like a fescue. Let me make sure I'm on the camera. Off to the side like this. And at the top of my stem, I'm going to draw a circle. And lighter touch, if you're having trouble with your ink flowing at all, lighter touch is definitely very helpful. And then around this circle, we're going to draw our petals. And I like to start, you know, at the stem. Some people draw their petals before. Oh my gosh, what is going on with this petals today? I'm just drawing petals around. And to be fair, I'm not doing these. I'm actually doing these too small. Make them bigger. I don't know why this is looking like a pinwheel. But that's how my flower is going today. And because I made these too small, I'm actually gonna do my aura on the outside. If you made yours bigger, you can draw an aura on the inside. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna aura each petal so that we have some space around the outside to do some more things in. I think when I drew this the first time, I actually drew the circle in the middle. I mean, first before I did the stem, and that made it easier for me to make it flow. But this cool thing about Zentangle inspired art is it always just comes together. And so what I did for these patterns, these weren't in the class that I took or anything, but I literally Googled lace and I just picked some patterns that looked kind of fun and played with those a little bit. So I encourage you to do that if you decide you like this method and then play with it. So in the smaller petals that we have, we're going to just draw a line in the middle with however many dots. Maybe mine, I think, are going to take 2. You might have room for 3, but if you go around and do this. And then in the outer ones, you can pick your size grid. I feel like the medium sized grid will work well on the outside. And I'm not necessarily going to line it up straight. I'm going to kind of go at an angle. Turning my tile. So with this method, we end up, there's a lot of back and forth and touching up and thickening up lines and that sort of thing. So this really is like, when I say Zentangle inspired art, like legit, you know, being willing and ready to take your time and just be into the tile and the process. And then I'm just going around the outside and just thickening up that line a bit. And as I'm working, I'm feeling like, and if you don't have this, it's okay, but I'm feeling like I actually do want to grab a white jelly roll as well. Because I think if I was doing, when I'm doing my, my grid work, I actually want a thinner line. I want it to be a little less inky and a little more delicate. I play back and forth with my tools when I do Zentangle inspired art, and on any given day, it might be a different, a different thing that I use. As I'm doing this flower here, I'm finding that.
Does the jelly roll ink look different on the tile as well?
It looks more delicate, like you can tell not as much ink flows out. I'll grab a.
I have one right here.
Grab one. Like I haven't, this is an 08. So if I mean, just as an example, and I'll do this on my tile. You don't have to do this, but I'll do it to show you. I kind of want to show you all the different sort of layers that we're going to do on our tile, even though I didn't have this on like on my sample, like it. But if I use this jelly roll, it has a much more. It's like a finer line, but I also, you see how I have to go back over it so many times. So that's what I mean. When I did that first class, I was like, oh dear, this is a lot. So I'm just going to aura these with my lighter jelly roll just to show you. But then I also, there's going to be some pieces in our lace tile here that we're doing where we take and we have these spaces. And we'll take a white pencil then and we'll color it in. So it'll have, you know how lace has like that background,
That meshy
that kind of, yeah, it looks like almost like tulle in it. Like, so that's what we'll end up doing here. And obviously we wait until the ink is totally dry, which I didn't do there. Thankfully it didn't smear. But so these are the layers and the stages of the lace that we will be doing when we work on our big tile. But I just thought just to draw a quick little bijou to kind of give you an idea of how the pens are going to flow and get just used to the supplies. I find it helpful to make friends with things first before I dive into all the things. But so if you wanted to, you could thicken up, you know, the stem line. You could make it like another row. Oops, this is my jelly roll. I want my Uniball. For more ink is Uniball, less ink, jelly roll, if that's important to you. It works both ways. it's just a personal preference on the look of your tile. The other thing you can do, I saw on a pattern, is on this stem here, they had like these little seed shapes, like 3 of them, like this. Which was kind of cute and fun. I missed one. So I think that was pretty much the different things that I wanted to show you that will end up being on our tile. So if you, yeah, Kat, I see you with your tortillon,
Oh, yeah.
kind of smudging things around. You can absolutely do that. I find
I
with the
like the way
white,
that
I
looks.
find with the white pen that you don't necessarily have to, but you can, or the white pencil, I mean.
I'd use
Depending on how you color and which, if
I
you're
just
using
use
chalk,
charcoal.
yeah, if you're using charcoal or if you're using actual
White.
pencil, yeah.